Hello, guys, and welcome to the Winding Road Podcast. This is the old stream of consciousness, my journal. What does your journal say? Encourage you to take these moments in time while you're going down the winding road, while you're sitting out in nature, just while you're sitting in your house or wherever you might be. My challenge to you is to take 20 minutes a day to just to think about life deeper, to think about your life and all the possibilities of everything, and gaining reverence for everything, I think, that can help you become a better person. At least it's making me a better one. Because I think about everything that I've overcome in getting to a spot of being of a sober and alert mind. I thought about how good I felt after that was accomplished. And then now the more time ticks and you start trying to overcome the other things, as I like to talk about a lot, it's just like, wow, I felt really good, like coming out of that stuff, you know, a couple weeks, a couple months, whatever. But the longer time goes on, the better and better I feel. But I don't necessarily think, yes, that's what started it. That's what sparked the flame of the candle so that I can find more candles and light them. That's what sparked it. But I feel like I hit light speed. I was able to get in the engine in the car, the winding road, so we should probably analyze to the road, right? Remember to do that, Gary. Remember. So let's make an analogy of the car. So I was able to stop all that other stuff, so I was finally able, no longer walking from place to place. I'm in the vehicle, I'm in the car, I've got what I need to get me to where I need to go. And damn, once you start going, man, it's like top speed. It's like, wow, I'm so much farther. I've come so far now in such a short period of time just by journaling my thoughts. It's like you thought you were pretty far once you came out of all that stuff, but I'm telling you right now, you can go way, way, way farther. And like if I'm in this place right here, right now, I can, what's it gonna look like and feel like in X amount of months or whatever? You know, and then I immediately start thinking about, well, yeah, everything's not gonna be all peachy and rosy and good all the time. So yeah, you know, you're gonna get stopped in some road construction along the way, for sure. But it's just having the patience. You just keep her moving at whatever pace it's going. You might be down to 15 miles an hour, but you're just keeping moving. And you're looking at all your problems, at the people who are working on the road, trying to repair it. And you're having reverence for it. Because you're aware that that's your now state, and you're still in the flow state, even though it's bad, because it's good, because you have joy. And you're in those deeper spots of thinking about life deeper, right? And then I realize that the deeper and deeper I go into myself is also an opportunity for me to get outside of myself. And that's what I meant on the last podcast whenever I was telling you just a simple story of reading a book, but then also it had all the pictures of the different things that the Hubble telescope at that point in time, that's what I was reading about, you know. And then now I read about the James Webb, read and look. And that's what I'm talking about whenever I said that. You're reading, constantly reading about things. So then it takes that extra effort to put it in our minds, but then we're able to also see with our eyes the world around us, and we are able to mix and mash all those things together. And it's just that next step up the ladder to gaining mindfulness, to being a walking meditation. Like just walking in nature, playing disc golf is like that's a great walking meditation, as it's referred to in Zen Disc Golf by Patrick McCormick. Shout out to him. And I took that and I parlayed that into, disc golf, but then I parlayed it into life. Can I be a walking meditation? Can my life be a meditation unto of itself? And it's just about, I think, asking yourself questions about yourself. Like, that's what mindfulness is all about, right? And figuring out if the answer to your question is a problem, then how do you solve that? You solve that by what do you need, what do you got, and going back and trying to figure all that stuff out again and gaining reverence like we talk about all the time. And I do find it difficult as this is happening to then, whenever people start talking to you about just the most trivialist of stuff, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad or indifference, but just the surface level stuff, and I find myself having patience with that. I find myself little bit annoyed by it, but I recognize that annoyance, and I see, okay, well, this is not really anything greatly important at this very moment, but whoever it is that's parlaying it to me is thinking that it's of some significance because they're telling me that. And so then I have to step outside of myself and into them to say, okay, well, this is important to them, so I'm going to listen to them intently, try to figure out what they're saying, and then I'm going to try to answer it, talk to them about whatever it is by going a little bit deeper, that next level of psychology, of turning it into philosophy, but at the same time just staying on that surface, but just having that just little bit of hint, little things that I can say to make somebody think deeper about it. You challenge people, we challenge ourselves whenever we are talking to people, and you might be giving them a surface level answer that's not going to help them. Well, I challenge myself every day not to do that, and to have patience with them and to listen to them. And that's what reading and then seeing it as well with our mind is all about. I hope that expanded on what I said, and that was just an epiphany to me at that moment whenever I was telling you that story. And that's what happens whenever you're having a stream of consciousness, and whenever you're just listening to yourself and relaying whatever you are hearing, and whatever you're hearing is based on what you put in, so then you're relaying that, parceling it all up, gathering the information, and then you're able to make it into words that hopefully help people. And so you're able to stay on the surface whenever you need to be on the surface, but also aware of the greater, deeper meanings that you have taken upon existence and life. And so while you're on those surface level, it's kind of like when I talk about, just because I can't remember something right at that specific moment doesn't mean it's not up there in my subconscious making up a part of who I am. Well, that's what's happening whenever you're on the surface, but you're aware back in that subconscious of everything, and you're still aware of that reverence, and it's a part of who you are. And so you were able to fill up your gas tank to go farther and farther down the road. You were able to build a reserve tank so that you could just keep going farther and farther down there. Let's use a better analogy. All of the analogies don't need to be cars. It was like, okay, think of going deeper and deeper. So you think of like the ocean, and then you're down there and you're seeing, wow, where did all these different species come from? This is freaking amazing. But you got a telescope. I don't know if it would actually work underwater, but let's go with it for a minute. You got a telescope that lets you see the surface, lets you see past the surface, lets you see the trees, lets you see the sky, lets you see the stars. Ooh, I saw a shooting star the other night. I was looking, have been for past few weeks hadn't seen one, but it was because I was looking. Whenever I stopped looking, I was with my buddy and we were outside. He's like, oh, look, shooting star, shooting star. And it took me like 1-2 seconds trying to find it, but I didn't panic. I looked at him first. Well, I don't even think I looked at him first, but I knew where he was looking. And so I looked in there and thank God, thank you, Jesus, thank you, God. It was a long, thank you to the more. It was a long shooting star, so I was able to catch the tail end of it, man. And it was just absolutely magnificent, man. And if that hits you and you're like, oh, I love shooting stars. I love stuff like that. You might think it's silly for me to sit around and ponder and think about just something that happened in a microsecond, but that's the reverence I have for nature and for everything, man. And it's just so freaking, you think of a better word than beautiful, but it's magnificent for sure. Look up a couple words and sound smart. It's what I got to do when I'm writing my novels sometime, and definitely off on the stream of consciousness now. That's what I'm doing whenever I'm writing my novels. I want to come up, you don't want to have words that repeat all the time, obviously, but you still want to have words that people might know, and maybe throw in a few words that they might have to look up, because then they get smarter for it. They gain a new word to their vocabulary. It helps them relay information. And it's just fun, and it's just fun to try to learn. And so I'll mix those words in there every once in a while, and I think it helps me be a better writer. And here's another thought that just kind of popped in my mind, getting back on track. It is the metaphors, man. Like whenever you are faced with a challenge, whatnot, like that kind of goes back to those trigger words of, oh, only a problem because it's happening now. This too shall pass, whatever. If you're in the moments where everything's not so great, but then it's like, okay, even let's not even say, maybe it's not even a bad time. Maybe you get caught up on the surface level again, then you think of those trigger words, but then you can also think of metaphors. Epiphany time! Woo! You can start thinking about that stuff because it's already there. Because you've read about different metaphors, you've related that to life, and that's just like, metaphors are so useful, and they're so helpful. If we're able to find them back there, if we're able to find them in the depths of the ocean of our minds, of our hearts, of our souls, we're able to find those while we're on the surface, while we're seeing with our eyes, we're still reading, we've already created it now in our minds. It's there from reading and gaining knowledge. It's there, and now you're able to use it. So I think to sum up this episode, how are we able to live deeper but yet stay connected to the surface and to reality? And that's by being in that flow state that I talk about, man. By being being a walking meditation of your life. That's how you do it. We'll continue to learn. We'll continue to grow through the ups, through the downs, through all the different turns, the stop signs, the road construction, the highways, the byways. This is my way. Because I'm me and you're you. Love, inspire, unite. God bless.